Hey guys, this is Shubham Dikshit, and today I was thinking we're going to talk about cloud computing. So, a lot of IT professionals, a lot of tech people have been jumping towards cloud, right? And taking towards the certification, all kind of certification, be it a developer, be it a SAP guy, be it a automation guy. They've been just rushing toward, okay, they need to clear one kind of certification for AWS, be it CCP, be it solution architect, be it entry level dev or Azure, Microsoft Azure certification. They are trying to clear GCP, Google Cloud provider. They are trying to clear. Okay, so so to understand that, what is cloud? Okay, so suppose you are a new guy and you've been just listening. Okay, there's a colleague of you, a friend of you, been trying to like to get through this certification and trying to add it into other bucket of certification. So before that, we need to understand what exactly is cloud, right? So cloud computing is a term. So before that, like to understand cloud computing, if you're gonna go with bookish knowledge, it's like it's like a practice of using a network or a network of remote server to your manage data, host data, store data. So you need not to. So yeah, so that's kind of bookish knowledge about cloud computing. But you're gonna go and yeah, you're gonna ask what is the difference between and what are we doing before this cloud thing. So yeah, so to understand that, we're gonna go and we're gonna talk about on-premise and cloud solution provider, right? So previously, what used to happen is like you've been seeing, if you have worked before cloud era, you've been seeing a lot of the servers in your firm, and the system, there's a room filled with a lot of servers. So that is on-premise server. So what happens? What used to happen is like you were owning the server, you're maintaining that, you're keeping an IT staff, and if it has been used, if it has been overused, then there are a lot of heating stuff and coming up, and a lot of maintenance is required. A lot of money has been poured in. If it's not been, suppose you have been taking for like 100 something 100 and you've been using only 80, only 60, then the rest of the things are pending over there, right? And that has not been completely used. So that was the on-premise thing, and people were paying for it, maintaining it, keeping an IT staff to support it. You are taking the risk as well if something goes wrong. Now what is coming up? Cloud providers comes to the picture. So what providers does now, they own the server in different zones of the world. If you will go ahead with this code with suppose AWS, and I'll be teaching you like, okay, so what are the servers, what are the zones they have server in, like US East 1, US East, in Mumbai AWS has a server, and in Australia they have their own server. So yeah, they own the server, they own their IT people, they they uh, they have to pay for their like maintenance stuff. They have to pay for the rooms and real estate, whatever they've been finding out. You just need to configure your code. You just need to configure your thing to push and use their cloud. Okay, so this is what the cloud computing is. Previously, we have on-premise. Now we are more and more pushing. Every firms are trying to push towards cloud. So this is what happening, and though it's not completely that everything has been moving to cloud, because with the few example I'll give you right now, it's like suppose if it is a defense thing, if it is a government thing, they are not moving to completely on cloud, because that might not be safe. They are keeping their own premise data. There are a lot of service providers as well, solution service provider, IT service provider. They are trying to keep their data because of this security purposes, like insurance, like healthcare. They are still on-prem, but a lot of new age startups, new age firms who cannot afford to hold this giant server related thing, on-prem related thing, they are going ahead and opting for cloud, right? Now, why cloud provider like compared to on-premise, right? We have already discussed, right? So one thing, suppose if I'll say capital expense, it will save you. So how it would save you? Like suppose you've been hiring an IT staff, you've been keeping you've been paying for real estate, you've been keeping the eye, and like you be keeping a check, like whether your system should not be hitting. Suppose you have bought for suppose 1 TB database, and you're trying to, but you are storing suppose under 500 DB or something, so that rest of the thing is going waste. but you've already bought it, you've already maintained it, so nobody else can use it, right? And you can configure on another thing is like you can configure on your own demand. Suppose in future your startup is scaled back or is scaled up. Okay, so based on that, you can configure your stuff. uh, Time latency is pretty improved by this cloud service provider. There's no time when data is supposed to be fetched, and it doesn't take much time. So in this is increases the speed. The way like the way on-prem is not that good. Another thing is like the way if you go in AWS side, if you see their chart, they are global. They're completely global. They have zones in around every part of the world, and they have been trying to keep at least for every one area, I guess, 3 zones, or in everyone's like something about that I'll discuss in further lecture. So suppose for India, they're gonna have like 3 certain zones. Like currently they are Mumbai, like in US East one, there they have something. In Australia they have, I guess, 2 for now. In China they have some, in Japan they have some, in Europe they have some, in South America they have, in Brazil. So yeah, so you can go global in any minute, any time. Suppose you've been like hosting and creating your application data of India, but you want to go global now. You can just push your data and request for this US East Coast or Europe coast or Brazil for South America. So yeah, that is the main advantages, I would say, cloud over on-prem. But on-prem is also has its own benefit, because it is because government record or healthcare or insurance and banking industry, to keep their users data safe, they still are on-prem, or they still are hybrid cloud. Hybrid thing they are using, like public cloud and a little bit of this on-prem thing. So yeah, this is about cloud computing, and in further lectures we will discuss a few more things. And then we'll go ahead with, I guess, the AWS's basic certification, and we'll start with account creation. We'll see the billing process. We'll see about the identity and access management, I guess. Yeah. So wait for the next lectures, and I'll see you right back.